Hello, this is Mr. Huff, and this is what I want you to put in a data table form for each type of engine. We have 3 types of engines that we have data for, and I want you to crunch that data up and make some nice tables like this. So let's take a look at this. Right here I have the engine type, and please use your formatting to help this make sense. So make that a larger format so that you can see that this is the engine that we're looking at. So what I need you to do is go take your engine type and go look at the spec table, which looks like this. Let's zoom out a little bit so you can see it. So this is the specification table. The numbers that you need are going to be the engine type here, the total impulse in Newton seconds here. Don't care so much about delay. We are also interested in max thrust. Okay, so that's another item we're looking for, and time duration is another value we need. So our first row is going to be the specifications from the engine. So I'm going to designate those as blue. Okay, so that way you can tell these are spec values. What I want to do is with the spec thrust duration, you're going to use that same value for all of them. And the reason is measuring time on the data charts is a little bit dicey. So we're just going to use the spec value for purposes of comparison. I need you to come up with reasonable labels for your entries here. So here we might have sample 1 from 2019, sample 2 from 2021. Come up with something like that so you can tell what you're looking at, because we do have multiple samples for each engine. And then the total impulse comes from the integral function using Logger Pro, and the max thrust is the statistical calculation or stats summary for that peak on Logger Pro. And then average thrust is, if you look at the notes, it's the total impulse divided by the duration. So you have Newton seconds divided by seconds gives you an average thrust value based on the total impulse and the expected thrust duration. So this is kind of it might be interesting. So let's say that you wanted to compare all of these samples using average thrust. My preference is to copy the data table and then delete the information I don't need. When you copy and paste the data table, I usually paste it and then do edit and paste special and then paste values only a second time. So I paste it once and then I paste values only a second time, and that way it gets rid of formulas and I can delete information that I don't want, because really all I want to see is average thrust and the 4 samples in this case. Okay, when I have that, I'm just going to choose this data table and I'm going to go up here, choose insert and chart, and it makes a chart like this. This is a little messy because the title doesn't make sense. The labels I would like down here are up here, and it's telling me average thrust right there. So let's see if we can change some of these settings. And so scroll down in the chart editor, try some things like this. I click switch rows and columns. I like that a lot better, but it doesn't tell me what we are seeing here. So if an easy way to fix that is just to click on this and then click on the title. And then over here on the right, you will see that the title is not making sense. So we're just going to select all of that and call it, this would be whatever the engine was. So I'm just going to name it what the chart is actually telling me. So in this case, we're looking at average thrust for a specific engine type. And to me, that's a lot more useful. Okay, so now I can look at the specification and I can see the samples, how they compare. So that's kind of how I want you to prepare your bar charts for this assignment. I'll have the requirements for your final presentation here. Another thing, you should be able to just click on this and Command C and go Command V that into your Google slide deck if I have you make one, and be sure you tell it not to link the data because we probably aren't going to be changing this information. All right, that should get you through getting your data collected and making your bar charts for comparison. Thank you.